Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Adam RPG with me, Bring It On. Let's talk to the last two stalkers here, starting with this guy. Sticking out a corner of his dry, yellowish tongue, this unshaven man in stalker garb fiddles with a tiny metal cube. He's either trying to crush it in his huge hands, or split it in two. Doesn't look like he can make up his mind. When he sees you, he hides the cube in his pocket. What do you want? I want to ask a few questions. Well, ask them. Who are you? I'm a stalker. They call me Killdozer. What does that mean? Doesn't sound like Russian. You're right about that. Kill is English for murdering a guy, and dozer is the second part of the word bulldozer. A bulldozer is like a huge tractor, but way cooler. It's an ideal nickname for me, since I dig through piles of old crap like a bulldozer. And if someone tries to steal my stuff, I'll kick him in the balls until he's dead. Oh, now it's all clear to me. Another question. Well? What are you doing here? Like everyone around here, I'm a stalker. I don't take kindly to metal harvesting and other get-rich-quick, or get-shot-in-the-process schemes. I'm the last romantic stalker around this place. I'm interested in the secrets still hidden in the old hospitals, hotels, and government warehouses. The risks are high, but the loot can sometimes be very interesting. Do you know this homeless person was just talking about me? I'm the last romantic, don't you know? I'm the last soldier of the Soviet Empire. It's good to be acknowledged, even in a hellhole such as this. A vile, terrible place full of ugly man-children. What does anything have to do with you, Grandpa? You're weird. Must be really romantic. Another question. How's life around here? It's okay, no matter what you hear. Sure, kids and old people would never survive long, but grown men and women who are tired of listening to bosses and gang leaders actually enjoy it here. Death by radiation poisoning or mutant talent is a possibility, but it's the price we're willing to pay for freedom. Quite the price, though. Next question. Have you heard any good rumors lately? The funniest rumor I heard is this. A few months ago, some journalists from Trudegrad came to the Dead City and started inviting stalkers for an interview. Those who agreed got the following question among many others. Is it true that stalker women are kept hidden underground by stalker men, and also wear beards? Now the guys thought this was a funny joke. But the guy was completely serious. People actually think that about us. Wow, oh wow. Ha, weird. Next question. Change the subject. Let's change it. What else did you want? What's the cube for? None of your business. The man barks angrily. Oh, come now. I'm not asking you because I want to steal it. I'm just curious. The man gives you a careful once-over, and finally laughs off his suspicions. Fine, fine. You're far too upstanding to be a criminal. Catch. The man tosses you a shiny metal cube, around 10 centimeters on his side. The cube feels heavy and cold. It's not even balanced. One half of the thing is much heavier than the other. Check it out, but don't forget to return it later. I found this thingy in the hands of a skeleton in a weird ruin. Not that he had anything to say about it. I asked. Closely examine the cube. Your eyes are not good enough to spot anything of interest on the metal surface of the trinket. Feel the surfaces with your fingertips, and turn it around in your hands. Your fingertips brush against an almost invisible seam in the metal. It's not a solid lump after all. Maybe it comes apart. Closely examine the cube. I can't do that. Do I really need attention for this? Strange thing. Don't know what to do with it. Bye. Let me put on my glasses and see if that helps. Oh, I have them on. Oh no. Can I really not do anything with this? Where's it at? I didn't give it back, did I? An unshaven man who you remember because of his strange metal cube shoots you an annoyed look. So? Let me try and solve your cube again. The man tosses you a shiny metal... Okay, we already read all that. Let's see. Alright, I don't understand what the deal is with this thing. Let's talk about something else. Alright, well, shoot. I don't know if there's another way to get inside that cube without attention. Because there's a puzzle where you have to get the numbers to equal 21, and it opens up. And you get a really good reward out of that. But I can't, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. Well, gosh darn it. Alright, let's get rid of that. Alright, a hefty, bearded fellow is silently drinking black coffee from an old tin can and smoking a cigarette. He slowly turns to regard you and smiles as you approach, but it's clear his mind is someplace else. Hey there, welcome to hell. Hi, what you thinking about, big guy? Well, suppose you were stalking around the dead city, and God forbid, you lost a leg. Suppose a monster tore it off, for instance. Whose fault is this? Yours? The monster's? Or is no one at fault? Yeah, the monster's at fault. Why did he chomp on my leg? He shouldn't have. The stalker takes a long drag of his cigarette, exhales a thick cloud of smoke, and spits on the ground. That's what a mutant would say. They think the world isn't fair for them at all. But I think everything happens for a reason. The world can be harsh, but it's always fair. The man takes a swig from his coffee can, then studies the black liquid suspiciously. But the thing is that sometimes crap happens to crush this illusion of a fair world. I had this buddy called Carp. You know what happened to him? A weirdo serial killer murdered him up. People say this maniac smacked Carp on the head with a brick, dragged him off to a basement or whatever, and tortured him to death. How could that happen in a fair world? Carp wasn't even stalking some dangerous place, and he never had any enemies. He was having a smoke just outside of the base. Yeah, that's not fair at all. Our life isn't fair. Maybe. Yeah. Crap just happens sometimes, and we can't do anything about it. Thanks for the reply, I guess. Care to answer a few questions for me? Sure, go ahead. Are there any exciting things happening here? There's a lot of crap going on. Everything's falling apart, and nothing works like it's supposed to. Somebody gets killed every week. A whole stalker team got buried under a collapsing building. A dude I know caught a mutation. Life is a circus nowadays. Well, that blows. Can I ask something else? Ask away. How much do you earn in the city? Some would say a lot. I'll tell you this. No matter how much you get, you'll lose everything buying unneeded crap. Maybe that's not true about you personally. Most people around here waste their fortunes buying stuff they don't need. Well, that's sad. Another question. Is it fun being a stalker? Depends. It's pretty fun for me, but some call it a fate worse than death. Nevertheless, many folks wish to become stalkers. They think it's all a big adventure, picking up loot off the ground and living free. People with that kind of attitude are usually found dead in a week or two. If you can't stand the heat, don't come near the stove. Anyway, I want to ask something else. Have you heard any good rumors lately? I heard the local gang's metro station was blessed with a visit from a three-boobied hooker. Quite a handy mutation for her line of work. I'd love to pay her a visit myself. I'm afraid her regulars would beat me to a pulp for my stalker affiliations. Exotic. Anyway, I've got another one for you. Alright, have to leave. Duty calls. Alright, I'm really sad about this cube. I don't remember if there's another way to get inside of it or not. Well, I won't forget about it, because it's one of the few ways to boost your attributes in the game. Wonder where they're running to. There's also a lot of people. A small crowd is gathered on the platform, murmuring uneasily, all eyes focused on the corpse lying on the tracks. You make your way to the edge of the platform and scratch the back of your head. It's obvious the poor guy, spread-eagled on the ground, died violently. A bearded, red-faced man standing next to you is addressing an elderly, mustached fellow. Darn it, Kurds, another dead body. What the heck? The mustached man shoots him a dark look and purses his lips. I see that bomb. I'm not blind. He's lost all shame now, killing people under our very noses. You pick up a few random words from the buzz of the crowd. It's that maniac again, right here on the base. He's lost all fear. You can't trust anyone. I'm telling you, we need to get out of the city. The elderly mustached man, whose name apparently is Kurds, spits on the ground and turns to face the crowd, with a grim look on his face. Alright everyone, move along. Nothing to see here. Bob, make a note. No personal items found on the body. Hey, someone take this poor sod to the morgue. Let the detective take a look at him. Jerky, where did you find him? Get yourself a drink at the bar, and I'll send someone to speak with you. As for the rest of you, what are you still doing here? Show's over. Go home. The crowd slowly disperses. Several beefy stalkers jump down on the tracks and start dragging the victim back the way you came. A couple of minutes later, the only people left are you, Kurds, and Bomb. Kurds is rubbing his temples. He notices you're still standing in front of him and addresses you tiredly. Like I said already, the show's over. Hey, are you new here? Fresh from the surface. What's going on? A real crap storm. That's what's going on. A real filthy crap storm. And we're neck deep, right in the middle of it. Welcome to hell, by the way. Well said. Care to elaborate? Buddy, get off Comrade Kurt's case. He's a busy man. The mustache man gestures Bomb to stop. You want to know the details? Here it is. We have a maniac on our hands. A serial killer. We call him the woodpecker. Whoops, didn't mean to click on that. Don't even know what I said. Hold up, I can go back. Interesting. Someone pointed this out to me. I've used this once or twice before, but I always forget that it's there. You could go in and look at the conversation without having to exit and reload. Interesting. Where did that nickname come from? The woodpecker. All the victims had the same hole in their skull, as if someone had punched through the bone with a giant beak. That's why we call him that. Why do you think it's a maniac? People get murdered left and right in the wasteland. No argument there, but here's the thing. It's true that people get shot by gangsters or ripped apart by mutants all the time. That's an honest way to go, and we're ready for it. But this is something completely different. The killer is walking freely amongst us. We have no idea who it is. But what makes you call this killer a maniac? His modus operandi. When we discovered the first body, we thought some crook just tortured the poor bastard on a whim. Then we found another one, and all the victims had the same marks on their bodies. Too peculiar for a common criminal, and too complicated for a mutant or animal. The detective can tell you more. I put him in charge of the woodpecker investigation. Do you know what the motive is? There's always a motive. I'm not a psychiatrist, but maybe the detective can answer this question. He's the one investigating the woodpecker case. The detective? Who's that? Another new guy just like you. He volunteered to help with the investigation. He's a smart guy, but so far his efforts have been in vain. Meanwhile, the woodpecker keeps stacking up the bodies. Oh, wait a second. Who are you then? Call me Kurds. It appears that I'm the man in charge here. Or not so much in charge, more like responsible. I'm negotiating with the merchants about selling items the stalkers find in the dead city. I'm coordinating the citizens in case there are some city-wide decisions to make. I'm a self-appointed manager, so to speak. My name is Bomb. I'm Mr. Kurd's bodyguard. I protect him. Currently, this maniac is our biggest concern. Yeah, this is certainly fascinating. Right. Hey, maybe you could help us. I need results urgently, and the detective isn't cutting the mustard. People are starting to get restless. Thanks for the offer, I guess. What makes you think you can trust me? Why not? You look like a brave sort, and even if you aren't Einstein, you definitely seem resourceful. I can see it in your eyes. But most importantly, you don't look like a maniac. I'd imagine they look like they just rolled out of their graves. And what will I get for catching this crazed killer? I'll repay you the best way I can. Don't you worry. The dead city isn't short of money. It's a deal. You know, I'm quite the detective myself. I'm glad to hear that. We really need a fresh pair of eyes. Alright, you should start by paying the detective a visit. He's probably in the morgue now, examining the latest victim. The morgue is located next to the underground entrance. You probably came from that direction. You can also talk to Jerky. He discovered the body. He's in the bar now. Maybe he caught a glimpse of the woodpecker. I doubt it, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. Alright, see you soon. Actually not done talking to you. Don't forget to talk to the detective. How about you? Alright. So I've never been down here before, and I don't know what to expect. How did I get down here? I guess from over here, right? I want to confirm that before I start exploring, get a sense of direction. So this is all new content. Everything underground here and the woodpecker investigation. Alright, let's clear out this side. The detective is the only person on this end of the metro. Okay, so this all counts as stealing. We'll just see what all is in here. Stimulants would be nice to have. Let's see if I can steal with this equipped. Nope. Sure can't. Alright, let's talk to the detective. A short man in his 30s is mumbling to himself, contemplating something far beyond the walls of the cool corpse chamber. The mere existence of this gloomy room proves how in this reckless profession, the stalker walks hand in hand with death. You stop next to the man and glance down at the corpse of a young adventurer. His body's been mangled with multiple cuts, tiny burns, and a gaping purple-black hole in his cranium. Yeah. Your poor brain has never seen the light of day, has it? All locked up in its bone prison. Let me set it free. Open a way out with a carefully placed blow from my hammer. And then... Indeed. What then? Was it really a hammer that dealt this blow? Come on. Open up to me, woodpecker. Hi. I assume you're the detective. Your voice startles the man. He hadn't realized he was not alone. He looks at you guiltily, and a bit shy. Oh, yes, that's me, in the flesh. I'm sorry. I tend to get absent-minded when I'm thinking. And as you can see, this corpse provides plenty of food for thought. The man points at the mangled cadaver. So many thoughts I'm drowning in them. Who might you be? An adventurer. Courage asked me to help with the investigation. Very nice to meet you. The detective extends his hand to shake, then, lost in thought again, puts it back in his pocket and lowers his eyes sadly. So this is how they show their faith in me. They're ready to hire a random adventurer, and not even a stalker. Oh well, okay. Perhaps I deserve it, since my dawdling cost this man his life. Now's not the time to think on your mistakes. Tell me what you've discovered. Slow down. Such requests are counterproductive. We have all the evidence we need on this hapless stiff, right in front of us. Let's do this. Let's take a look at this unfortunate soul, and tell me what you see. Perhaps you'll spot something I missed. If you don't, then I'll tell you what I see. Now take a close look. Following the detective's invitation, you bend over the bluish corpse and examine it closely. Several different details catch your attention. I can see a big hole in his skull. Hard to miss, really. Right. He was hit with something heavy, like a hammer or a pickaxe. The blow was quite precise. Now this is characteristic of all the murders committed by our woodpecker. If only we knew why he always finishes the victim off this way. Multiple tiny wounds on the body. I think those are traces of torture. He made the poor bastard suffer before cracking his skull open. Creepy, right? His facial expression reflects great suffering. No wonder. Who likes being dead? But I think he took on this expression while still alive, while he was being tortured. And nothing else that catches the eye. The detective sighs sadly, his shoulders drooping. Yeah, just a hole in his skull and traces of torture on his body and face. All the woodpecker's victims look like that. We've come to a dead end. I'd better have another look at the corpse. The detective steps aside. Look as long as you like. Look and share your ideas. What else would you like to talk about? I'd like to ask you a couple of personal questions. Okay, what do you want to know? What's your name, mate? Haven't I introduced myself? My mom called me Nikita. I rarely use that name these days, although it's nice. You can simply call me Detective. Okay, Detective, I have another question. What else do you want? And where are you from originally? Haven't I told you? No, I guess I haven't. I'm from Kazakhstan. A week before the war, my father took me and my mom on vacation at my auntie's village near Trudograd. And that's where we were when the world got blasted. I've all but forgotten my homeland now. Day-to-day life, the smells, and so on. Must be hard, but you never know. You might return there one day. Now I have another question. Why did you choose this profession? I like riddles. I even like answering your questions. There's a question mark at the end of a sentence. I rush to answer. Interesting. Another question. What was your most surprising case? This happened a couple of years ago when I was working at the Trudograd manufactory. 2 weeks into the job, the bosses gathered us all together and started blasting us for a constant shortage of supplies and product and so on. During breaks, I started watching closely to find out who was stealing from the factory. 3 days later, my investigation showed it was everyone, including the bosses. I was the only moron who kept to the moral high ground. Wow, one heck of a riddle. Another question. Alright, change subject. Let's go. Let's put on these glasses and try again. You find the detective, the man charged with following the woodpecker's trail, at his usual task, staring into space, mouth hanging open, mumbling something under his breath. Apparently, he's decided to put himself in the murderer's shoes and track him down among the stalkers. Eventually, the detective registers your presence and focuses his attention on you. Greetings, colleague. Any new leads? Now let's go over what we already know. Alright, I can't look at the body again. Well, shoot. I doubt that extra 1 to attention is going to actually help. But you never know. So that's twice now that having a low attention has hurt me. A wide-shouldered giant of a man with a square jaw and a friendly smile watches your every move. There's nothing menacing about him, yet he somehow unnerves you. Yet he still somehow unnerves you. Hello, little buddy. You looking for the serial killer? You do that. Now, who are you, big guy? Call me Rabbit Buddy. They call me that because I like eating rabbit meat. It works for me, you know. I hate all other kinds of meat. Pork, beef, canned meat, mystery meat. I'd rather eat dry biscuits than those kinds of meat. Funny little addiction I've got, right? What are you guarding? The station? I was told to guard the entrance for a while. Why not, I answered. So yes, you were right. Any juicy rumors? There's plenty of rumors. I prefer the ones about Woodpecker, the serial killer. Will someone catch him soon? Or not? What's the mood here at the station? People became more nervous lately. The Woodpecker killings made everyone paranoid. I think it's funny in a way, because people always died here like flies, before any serial killers even showed up. I guess he became the last drop. Yeah, I should be going now. Alright. Hey, it's this woman. It's Gavrilov's romantic interest. 143. Thank you. Alright. You spot a red-haired woman from afar. She's standing near the entrance to the Stalkers' drinking establishment, lost in thought. A moment later, she notices you as well, and gives you a smile and a slight nod. This is when you realize she's not only missing an eye, she's also missing an arm. A sharp and shiny hook is attached to the stump on her missing hand. Hello. And a hello to you too. Hey, is your name by any chance Larissa? Yes, I'm Larissa. Why? Have we met? Nah, but my good pal, who did meet you once, asked me to say hi. Someone we both know. Who can that be? Don't tell me it's Vaska Zittail. Wait, no. It can't be Vaska Zittail. He was bludgeoned to death in the mountain pass of Woes a year back. Who is it then? Tell me already. Yeah, I have no idea about any Zittails, but a strange-looking old dude named Gavrilov asked me to say hi. Larissa's face relaxes into a genuine smile. Gavrilov? Don't tell me you're talking about that eccentric fellow who walks around in ant carapace armor. Yeah, I remember him all right. He was quite the charmer. Always spoke about himself in the third person, like royalty. How's he doing? He's good. He settled in a village called Red Fighter. Red Fighter, huh? Yeah, I heard about the place. Did he just settle there? What does he do there? Is he comfortable? More or less. What he's doing is really hoping to see you again one day. The woman thinks to herself for a moment and nods. You know what? Why the heck not? It's settled. I'll head to Red Fighter as soon as I can. As soon as I can catch a caravan or ship from the dead city. Seriously? Just like that? Larissa laughs. Yep, just like that. The spirit of adventure has finally stopped nagging me all the time. All I wish for now is some peace and quiet. Anyway, I should prepare for my journey. Bye. Okay, good luck on the road. Well, that was super easy. Let's talk to this guy. See, 50 rubles. Yeah, that's close enough. A skinny, gloomy-looking stalker is hunched over, staring down at his feet. He looks anxious. When you come closer, the man greets you with a nod and addresses you in a high and slightly hoarse voice. What do you want? I just want to chat. Could you answer a couple of questions for me? I've seen you talking to Kurds. What do you want from me? What's your name, bro? The fellow utters his nickname through clenched teeth, so as not to be overheard. Karen, I'll figure out how to read. Little, that's what they call me. Seems like you're not a fan of that moniker. The stalker turns away. He's doing a poor job of concealing his grudge. For God's sake? Of course I'm not a fan. Living with my height was hell enough. Everyone's calling me little. Jerks. Why don't they call Kurds the fur-faced gimp then? Why don't they call that detective chump Screwbrain? It's just not fair. I understand. Try not to think about it too much. One more question. What are you doing here? I'm scavenging, like everybody else. It's what we do here, in case you didn't notice. So don't even ask. I'm sick of it already. Real sick. Well, don't be sad. One more question. What is it? What can you tell me about this place? If it weren't for the woodpecker's homicidal nonsense, I would have given this tiny hell the highest rating possible in the Dead City. A solid 2 out of 5. But now I'm calling it a 1, which in comparison with some other places around here, isn't really that bad. Well, that ain't much. Answer me this. What's the latest gossip? I'm tired of people's bullcrap nonsense about Krasno. Civilization has restored itself to a point where people are too well off for their own good. That's why this weird mushroom society popped up, and goat cults where teenagers get blitzed on fermented beetroot and have orgies. The old axiom is true, you know. The human spirit is forged in pain and suffering. All this comfort and ease reduces people to mindless cattle. Well, people exaggerate. One more question. Yes? Nothing out of the ordinary. Shall we talk about something else? Okay, bye. You don't seem happy. The skinny stalker mumbles something and spits on the ground. What is there to be happy about? Not only can you not trust anyone around here, you can't even trust yourself, so it seems. Why so serious? Of course. Well. Tell me more. What's there to tell? I met this shady dude on one of my trips. He introduced himself as a stalker. Seemed to have cash too. He eyed my kit and smirked, as if he'd been looking for something more valuable. I keep on listening in silence. So I says to him, what are you looking for? He replies, when you come across what I'm looking for, you'll know. I said, at least show me something as an example. He didn't want to at first, but I managed to persuade him. I'm taking this to my fence right now. Take a good look at it, then look at me. He handed me a polished piece of wood, about the size of a cigarette pack, with the word burn carved into it. I looked it over, then looked back at the stalker, and then keep on listening in silence. I had an overwhelming urge to kill him, for no reason. None at all. I didn't want to put him down either. I wanted to torture him. Tie him up, cut into his flesh, tear him apart, pour salt in his gaping wounds, crack his skull open, sink my teeth into his brain, suck up his blood, until I threw up. I truly felt like mutilating the guy, destroying him, reducing him to nothing, turning him to dust, wiping my butt with his own skin that I tore off of him while he was still alive, poking his eyes out and grinding them into the dirt. Darn. I keep on listening in silence. The man is staring at the floor, his eyes two pools of darkness. He knew that darn chunk of wood would have this effect. He had taken a step back and placed a hand on his gun, but I guess he also knew I would keep it under control. It wasn't easy, but I managed. I actually fell on my knees and growled at him, barked like a dog. I screamed that I would tear out his larynx with my teeth, but in less than a minute the sensation faded, vanished, all of it. No hatred, no rage left, but I can still remember all the horrific things I wanted to do to him. But it wasn't something I wanted. It's something I'm scared and ashamed of. The things he's into, if they're anything like that wooden plaque, I hope I never see that freak son of a gun again. I'm mad at myself now. That some little piece of crap made me feel all those terrible things. It makes me feel empty inside. That's really messed up. Now let's talk about something else. There's nothing to it. Bye. That was a weird story. Alright, I'm going to call the episode here, and the next one we'll continue talking to the Stalkers in the metro. Oh, I like this. It's a really neat piece of art. Yeah, it seems like there's going to be quite a few people to talk to. So I'll be here for a little while. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode.